Today on Call for Two, a quick spoiler-free review of the Sherlock files. What's so special about this fast little cooperative mystery game? Stay tuned to find out. As a reminder, I purchase all the games we play on this channel myself. I have no relationship with any publisher. So if you want to see more unbiased videos like this, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. So what is the Sherlock files? Each game you play will take you about an hour, maybe even a little less. It's designed for, at least the box says, 1 to 8 players. I think that's wrong. I wouldn't recommend trying to play this solo or with a larger player count over 4. I think probably 2 is the sweet spot. Maybe 3 players would be okay as well. There are 6 boxes in the series so far. Each box has 3 cases. Each case, and we'll take a look at one in a second, has about 30 cards in it, as well as a short little intro, a list of questions you read at the end, and then a solution and a scoring chart. You can only play each case once, so you'll get about 3 hours of playtime in each box. They're selling currently for about $25 each, so that's a little high in the per hour cost, but maybe you can pick them up on sale. And nothing gets destroyed or modified at all, so you could absolutely sell these or pass these along when you've finished. These aren't puzzle games as many of the small box mystery games tend to be. These are pure mystery deduction games. You're reading through evidence. Each card has a little bit of art and text on it. By the time you get to the end, you will try to answer some questions demonstrating how well you've understood the underlying mystery, and you'll get a score. Along the way, you'll be discussing with your partner or partners your theories of the case. So there'll be quite a bit of active discussion while you're playing. Let's open up a box and see what you get. I'm not going to be showing you any important cards or information that you wouldn't see the moment you take this out of the box. So here are the instructions. Very simple, 2-sided pamphlet here. Short and quite bad. Pretty poorly written instructions, but you will figure it out. It's not that complicated. For each of the 3 cases, you get a deck of cards and an introduction. So the introduction has a little bit of story, and then to play, you'll get out the deck of cards. Typically, you'll turn over the first card, which has some instructions of how to play with a QR code to watch a video, and a little reminder of the rules. Essentially, you take this deck of cards, which are little pieces of evidence in the form of illustrations and text. You shuffle this up. Each player draws 3 cards. That's their private hand that they're not allowed to show anyone else. And you take turns until you've gone through the entire deck. On your turn, you just have 2 choices. You either play a card face up for everyone to see on the table to see and discuss, or you'll discard a card face down out of the game. No one else will be able to see it. You will be able to remember what you discarded to talk about at the end. We'll come back to that. It's a clever little idea. And then you draw a new card. And so you take turns like that until you proceed through the entire deck. At the end, you'll have a number of cards face up on the table that you can discuss, and then a stack of cards face down that only one player ever saw. After you've gone through the entire deck, you'll open up this pamphlet for the game you're playing, and you'll read a set of questions, maybe 10 questions or so, and you'll try to answer them. And then you'll open this up and you'll get an explanation of the story of the mystery and instructions for how to score the game. Now the hook here, the clever little hook that makes this a game, is that the group must collectively discard at least 6 cards face down. So you must throw some cards out. And the score is based on mostly getting the questions right. But you're also penalized for playing cards in the face-up tableau that were irrelevant to solving the mystery. And that's the key here, that some of these cards are important for solving the mystery and some of them are irrelevant. And you don't have you're having to discard cards while you're not sure yet. And slowly you're gaining a better picture of the mystery. Maybe you can be a little bit smarter about discarding cards. One little clever element is that you're still allowed to discuss the cards that you discarded. You just can't pick them up and look at them and show them. So you have to do that based on memory. If you're like, in the beginning I threw out a card I thought was irrelevant, but it really seems like it was key to the motive. And so let me try to explain what I remember about that card. So it's really a push your luck element that's been thrown into this game in terms of deciding, well, I could just put this card face up, but I think it's probably irrelevant, so I probably can throw it away. And you've got this fun little puzzle in your mind while you're trying to solve it, of trying to optimize your score by discarding irrelevant cards. And why does this all work? To me, I think the reason it works, first of all, is that these are tight little proper mysteries with some real deduction and evidence that makes sense and some subtle clues here. I also think it works where you might not expect it to, certainly where I didn't expect it to. I think it works because the games are so quick and the information, there's just a small amount of information and image on each card, and it's manageable. It can be played in a relaxed style. It's almost like a little party game, almost like it falls into that category of activity games. You've got your own hand, so you can just focus on when it comes to your turn, you can just focus on your cards, make your own decision. It does change the nature of the game from a sort of heady, intense solving of a mystery where you're fully cooperating on every decision. It does make the game feel quite different. When it's your turn, you handle it yourself, and your decisions have that sort of push your luck feel. You're like, sometimes you're agonizing over, I don't know what card to throw out. Maybe I should share this. But in the end, you're just like, what the hell? Let me just throw this card out or show this card. It does have all the joy that comes from the sort of push your luck elements of party games or quick games, but here in a mystery game. Quite surprising. And I think it will scratch an itch for many players in terms of that element of agonizing decisions where you're sort of deciding how risk averse you are. Do you want to just play all the cards face up because you don't like taking any risk, or do you really feel daring and you're going to try to keep throwing away cards face down and maximize your score? And you will have to use your intuition and some educated guesses to make early decisions about discarding cards really before you have enough information to make a really sound judgment. So bottom line is, it works because it's fun. It's fun even when things go wrong. It's fun to agonize over what card to throw away. And it's got that sort of secret ingredient that I look for in party games, even though this isn't really a party game. But one of those elements that I look for, that I like best in these kinds of interactive party-ish type games, is the fun of making a mistake, the fun of yelling at your opponents. When we played this, we're like, you better not be throwing away, like you're throwing away a lot of cards. Are you really sure about this? There's that fun element. And at the end, when you reveal the cards, you can go through the deck and be like, I can't believe you threw out these cards. You thought that wasn't going to be relevant. You killed us by throwing out this key card. For a 1 hour quick game, mistakes can become fun, and it is fun to sort of try to push your luck and try to maximize your score. Which is to say that all of these are things that I normally would not look for in a pure deduction game. The randomness of the shuffling, the pushing your luck, the having to make decisions based on intuition and guesses, that's not stuff you normally want. But because the game is so light and so relaxed, it can be fun. So, final thoughts. Not everyone is going to love this game. You have to be okay with a little bit of chaos and luck in your deduction games. You might not think you want that, but if you get a chance, I think it's worth playing one scenario from one of these boxes and giving it a try. At full price, it's a little hard to justify for 3 hours of gameplay in each box, but if you can get it on sale, or if you're good at trading and passing along games, that might solve that problem. If you want a more serious, demanding, structured game that also makes use of this idea of dividing up information and having to coordinate the sharing of it, a game that's much more focused on balanced, communication-heavy deduction involved in terms of how to coordinate information, no push your luck, just pure focused communication and deduction. You might want to check out my review of the new 2023 game Perspectives, much more serious game, much more intense, high production quality, and more expensive. That might be worth a look. But for me, Sherlock Files does have a place in my collection. It's a nice sort of, almost like a little filler game. The only filler deductive mystery game I know of, and quite special. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.